Hello, everybody, and welcome to tonight's coverage of Wings and Wheels and its MX-5 Series, presented by GGT Energy Solutions. This evening, we're excited to bring you coverage of all the action from iRacing's virtual WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna, Seca, and Monterey, California. Maconi Entertainment is here to bring you action from all types of racing, including the weekly Fast Friday series. No matter what you're racing, we can bring the action to life. My name's Justin Prince, along to the booth for tonight. Braden Laster, also joined by Ray Movahill. Robert Hill was working the controls as our producer. For those who haven't tuned into the series yet, well, it's a league that consists of Mazda MX-5 cars that launched the inaugural season earlier this season. Drivers consist of both the virtual variety and real-world competitors for multiple series, including the Whelen Mazda MX-5 Cup. Drivers will compete in both road courses and ovals throughout this series. We've seen that come into play so far throughout the 10 points-paying races and 2 exhibition races. Braden, you're talking about some of the top drivers, and we're talking about as well an increased field size. A lot of new competitors looking to see what they can do tonight. What are your expectations for California?
You take some of the best drivers, both in the real world and on the sim here, and you take them to a fan-favorite track, WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna, Seca. And let me tell you, a lot of drivers, they love this track. Some drivers hate this track. But the one thing we want to see most is drivers taking advantage of that corkscrew. We've talked about it a little bit beforehand. Coming up to this race is going to be a highlight of the season right there on screen. Going down Ray Hall straight to 7 and turn 8. You're going to drop 59 feet, almost 5.5 stories in just 3.5 seconds. So pretty adventurous, very dangerous corner for these guys, and going to be a matter of who can maneuver through it most.
And so far, we've maneuvered through what's been an interesting championship battle. So far, Joshua Soto's been the one in control of the championship. 1,794 points, his tally coming into tonight. Deacon Greenfield is not going away, though. He has stayed within about 200 to 300 points much of the way, Braden, as in if Soto has any slip-ups, has any missed races that start to accumulate, the championship could get interesting, especially with how things have looked in the title fight.
That Greenfield definitely keeping Soto on his heels there. Then you got Joseph Burns there in third, 1,300 points or so, about 200 behind Greenfield and about 400 behind Soto. But Keith Carpenter right there on Joseph Burns' heels, so both those drivers keep each other in check. And Nathan Nicholson, last week's winner, looking for a little late season point surge here. And let me tell you, he's on a hot streak.
And it's going to be an interesting night to see which drivers build up streaks of speed here, especially since it's build week. Just about a day or so ago, drivers have to make sure they get everything updated properly for iRacing. And that means potentially some different maneuvers and different things to keep an eye on because of the build week. It could be an interesting day as a result for some of these drivers, but also it could be an interesting race in general.
Interesting is definitely going to be the name of the game. We talked about the corkscrew. We talked about the Ray Hall straight. There's a couple of smaller, medium-sized straightaways compared to the normal road course. So nothing too crazy. No super heavy braking zones. Maybe the Andretti hairpin a little bit. But passing opportunities are few and far between here, especially in these little Mazda MX-5 Cup cars. So it's going to be fun to watch and see who's able to take advantage of most. And we've seen some drivers pull in some clinics, but I don't think it's going to be the case this time out.
So just getting ourselves sorted out here with qualifying. 8 minutes to get the best qualifying times here tonight. Drivers currently finishing up that session at the moment. What are you keeping an eye on the most for this evening's racing as we prepare for what's going to be a busy night?
Now, look at the qualifying time differences we'll get to in just a second. Nathan Nicholson, though, with a quick time, definitely a huge shock for him. He's been one of our more oval-ish guys. He's had a lot of speed on the ovals, had a lot of speed on the road courses, but got there and still pull him and go through the full field, like I said. I think it's going to be fun to watch him try and hold off Burkhart and John Sean a little bit. Joshua Soto has rolled their points there. He's been dominant all season long. Can he get up to the front? And can he stay up there? It's going to be a huge part of this one.
So we'll see how tonight fares out. Nathan Nicholson set the pole time tonight over Morgan Burkhart. Aaron Jeansonne will start in third. Joshua Soto in fourth. Greenfield and Watson, your top 6. Joseph Burns, Sally Mott back there in 8th. Then Jordan Missig makes a debut tonight. Keith Carpenter, your last scheduled starter for tonight. Brady Laster, of course, in the broadcast booth this evening. So, a 10-car grouping set to go, but a couple newcomers. Your keys to a good race and victory here tonight.
Yeah, you mentioned newcomers Morgan Berghardt, I believe, first race of the season for him. They're in second, only a couple hundredths off of Nicholson, so he's going to take the fight to these guys and take it to him where it hurts by starting there in that front row. And when you mix new guys and veterans of a series, especially get this middle to late portion of the series, you can definitely create not some drama, but some unique characteristic of unusualness. You know how most people will race you as you race them all season long, but definitely some new guys, especially when they're fast, and it makes you just want to go harder, faster, faster, faster.
Now, there is one thing to note when it comes to the details from the build. They have made some adjustments to these cars. For the Global Mazda MX-5 Cup, they have adjusted the fuel burn rate to better match real-world information. Now, the fuel window is expected to go past 30 minutes or so tonight, Braden, based on some of the conversation. It's going to be interesting how drivers now factor that in. Essentially, we know there was a pit stop required, but that fuel burn is going to be a bit differently than some people were used to.
Yeah, and then watching as well, a caution isn't guaranteed at any point in this race, but we've seen it time and time again. These drivers will sit there and will have a decent sized incident that will warrant a caution at some point around the midway. So no scheduled competition caution of any kind, but we would not be surprised if one came out. So that could definitely shake things up here.
We'll see if things get really shaken up here in the next little bit. Just get the full pace lap to be able to sort our way through before we get to racing here tonight. It should be a fun night, as we talked about, but it's going to be interesting if we see things get spread apart here a little bit. It's a very technical racetrack.
Yeah, a lot of middle-ish speed tier corners for these cars. A very flat track, only 0 to 8 degrees of banking throughout the corners. Corkscrew is going to be one of your more interesting corners, like I mentioned, about 59, 60-foot drop in just 3.5 seconds or so. So it happens fast. Moves happen fast. Everyone's in a late lunge. It can definitely go wrong very quickly. So that's something you're going to have to watch as a driver who is playing defense. But it's a great guy or a great opportunity if you're a driver on the offense to make maybe a late move, a late surge, and hopefully not destroy the race car.
Definitely don't want to destroy the race car. That's pretty self-explanatory, to say the very least. But we'll see if everybody's going to be able to behave themselves today as they prepare for tonight's racing action for tonight. Yeah, Nicholson going to be in control. We take the green flag in the next little bit here from tonight's festivities. The corkscrew going to be very chaotic for some. We'll see if it reigns supreme. That's going to be one of our main attrition points.
I saw them go through. They can barely go through a 2 wide without making contact, but pace car getting ready to dive off here. This 2.2 mile road course layout, the only layout available here at WeatherTech Race for Laguna Seca. And these Mazda MX-5 Cup cars are getting ready to pull on a show. Nathan Nicholson and Morgan Berghardt on the front row.
Happy to have you with us here at Maconi Entertainment for coverage of Wheels and Wheels, the GGT Energy MX-5 Cup Series. Nicholson controls things from the inside on your picture. Green flag already waving. We're underway from WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca. And a good run for Nicholson as he starts things off. Already single filed out, heading to the Andre hairpin. It's offset 3 behind him.
They're able to hang on to that lead, but they're 2, 3 wide behind them. Here comes Deacon Greenfoot from 5th on the starting grid, trying to steal that second spot from Aaron Jeansonne. Johnson looking inside. Nicholson doesn't send it deep, but someone who does, that's Morgan Berghardt trying to get 3rd back.
Getting a little bit squabbly back there. Burns getting jetted out for a moment. But it looks like Sally Mott looking to set things up on Burns for 6th.
They're right there on the back bumper. We've talked about the draft of these cars are huge. We mentioned, though, no long straightaways for these drivers to really take advantage of it. Just a couple opportunities here and there. Sally Mott looking inside Joseph Burns here. He has to get ready to go down the Ray Hall straight, named after 4-time consecutive winner here, Bobby Ray Hall. And here comes their first time through the corkscrew.
Already seeing Mott make the move. Missig making up a couple spots already, near making contact, and that sends off the contact. So Burns able to hold on to it. Watson losing a lot of ground as a result. Missig not taking his time to make up ground as Watson moves past Burns. There's a look at Missick, a Radicals and Indy NXT driver here in the field tonight.
Definitely one of their biggest movers in that first lap. Doesn't waste any time getting through the field. Already up a couple spots and eyeing a top 5 spot here after starting all the way back there in 9th. So right there in that 6th position and currently still part of the lead pack down the front straightaway here.
Aaron Jeansonne having some issues on the opening lap. And it looks like he's grenaded the motor with something in terms of contact. Let's see why.
He's going through the corkscrew, heavy braking zone, and you mentioned it can go wrong, and it goes wrong big time for Jeansonne. Huge hit there to the outside tire wall. I see the front bumper get knocked off, hood caving in, and the smoke coming out of that 1998cc motor. And he's going to take a tow and a fast pair before he gets back out on track. So it's going to be a couple laps here for Jeansonne.
And not a pretty sequence, to say the very least. But Burkhardt providing pressure up front. And still plenty of time to think about things. But Burkhardt keeping Nicholson at bay and trying to see what he can do in terms of momentum.
Yeah, see the draft kind of playing effect here. Getting ready to go through the corkscrew for the second time here. Nicholson not quite as aggressive on the entry, but it's a great exit. Burkhardt takes advantage of it, though. Trying to have a great exit. Matches Nicholson's exit through the rainy part of their track here, rainy curve, named after named after the motorcycle driver here. I forgot his name. Wayne Rainey. There it is. I can remember. Wayne Rainey. That's definitely a name of all names. But 500cc Grand Prix motorcycle road champion named after that corner. With the corners named after him.
Soto, the points leader, making up some time on track, trying to make the move on Greenfield. Not a surprise to see Soto try and make some ground and fast.
Now, not just on anyone, but we mentioned Deacon Greenfield there, a driver that definitely in the points battle right there. Behind Soto's going to go for a spin, though. This is going to be huge for that points battle we were just talking about as Greenfield's going to steal that 3rd spot.
That's going to cost him a lot of time. Back to 6th spot. Greenfield holds on to 3rd. And Sally Mott now in line to battle for the podium. How about that? Let's bring in Ray Movahill. He's been standing on by as this is going on. An interesting start to this race. Ray.
Yeah, there we go. Absolutely it has been. And you've got your hometown boy, Aaron Jeansonne, early on taking the tow, having to use his quick repair. So that's a heartbreaking start for Aaron there. Nice seeing it's competitive. We've got some good racing going on. Morgan Burkhardt, we knew he was going to bring something to the table when he came in here, and he's not disappointing. Him and Nathan battling. They're good buddies in real life. They're big competitors, and you see it here tonight.
Seeing the race leaders pull away. 4 seconds nearly the gap already in this one, Braden. These two just able to break away together.
Well, we mentioned, Soto's been pretty dominant all season long, and he's won by some pretty large margins on these road courses when they're not a draft-reliant track like Daytona. But Burkhardt here is definitely taking to Nicholson. I mean, at the line, 1/10 off him, you basically see the difference on the screen is a quarter of a car length for it. So any slip up, any mistake here by Nathan Nicholson, and Burkhardt will not take a second, or even think about taking a second chance to pounce, and any opportunity presents itself, he's going to take it.
Some of the others trying to take advantage of some of the positions. Right now that includes Soto, who's been able to already get back to 5th. Missick running in the same pack as them, as well as Sally Mott.
Okay, I see Sally Mott back there trying to get or seal the deal for that 3rd podium spot. Greenfield in line right behind her. She's currently in that 3rd spot. Greenfield, I mentioned, is trying to maybe get it back. No, I stand correct. I'm just on a whole different level, and she's behind these drivers, but got confused with Aaron Jeansonne there, the lap driver. So Jeansonne is back on track, 1 lap down, but it's going to be hard to get that lap back without caution.
And seeing how things have cycled out here so far, Ray, the top 2 class of the field, 2 seconds gain. We got trouble in the other pack. Soto getting torn into the grass and through to the wall. That's off the nose of Sally Mott for contact.
That's how dangerous that corkscrew can be, and you try to go through a 2 wide, Sarima on the outside, Soto on the 07 on the inside, and I mean, not enough room to go through that corner side by side, and unfortunately, Joshua Soto getting the short straw there. Both drivers a little bit of contact, but Soto's going to lose a ton of time. So rough start here for Joshua Soto, the points leader.
And that once again puts Soto on the back foot, Ray. It is not looking good for your points leader.
Still early on in this race, and if there's one thing that Josh has proven is he knows how to get back up to the front. We saw it last week when he had a couple spins, how to work his way back up to the front. I'm not counting him out just yet. He's too good. There's too much time on the clock yet. Don't count him out so soon.
It's going to need to make up 15 seconds to have a shot to get up to the race leaders. These two very much committed so far to work with one another in this race. Greenfield has lost another 2 seconds this lap. Noah's been really impressive this race. Jordan Missig, he's currently in the 4th position now with all the trouble in front of him. Not bad for his first race of the season, Ray.
No, it's not. And, you know, Jordan's a good buddy of mine. We're thrilled to have him be able to join us today. You know, props to him being able to make it to the Indy NXT series this year. Awesome seeing him up there, just continuing the grind, getting his sponsorships, and continuing to prove that he belongs at the top level. Being able to have him here tonight, you see him, he's being able to keep the nose clean, and we're sitting in P4 right now. Keeping that nose clean is going to be the name of the game tonight, it seems like, guys. Keeping those wheels straight and those fenders on it.
And not making contact as a result. Soto has found his way back up to Watson. And Watson, we've seen for Team Watson throughout this campaign, Braden make some spot starts. Doing a solid job running mid-pack on the pylon.
Now, not going to really put up much of a fight for Joshua Soto. When the guy that's won almost every single race this year comes up behind you, you don't try and get in his way. So he's already about to catch Sally Mott and Jordan Mystic to move back into that 4th spot. Deacon Greenfield, the 3rd place runner, went through the grass a little bit last lap or so. He's trying to get the most out of this track, and that means going off the track.
If you're Deacon right now, sorry, JP. If you're Deacon right now, though, you got to be thinking, hey, close points battle right now. Soto's had a couple issues already. We just got to keep that car on the track and keep that 3rd place position. As we look, someone got spun there.
And that's
Keith Carpenter.
Keith Carpenter, yep.
Oh, missing around. And your 4th place driver through turn 6 has a bit of an incident by himself. So Jordan Mystic in the 48 machine. Yeah, didn't have any help. He just got on the gas so early around to win it. So let's go move Sally Mott in the 4th. And then Joshua Soto back in line behind her. Those two now side by side.
A lot of trouble brewing for some of these drivers right now. Missig with that slide and spin back to 8th position.
Soto getting around Sally Mott here side by side down the front straightaway. Soto's going to take that spot. Mott gets right in line behind her, and James Watson still in this battle with these drivers for a top 4 run. Soto currently holds that 4th spot. Expected to pull away from these two now, but Sally Mott trying to do everything she can to hang on here. She's doing a good job at it too.
Like we were talking about earlier, you can't count Joshua Soto out at any point in this race. Sally just kind of following it and see if she can learn something from him, see if they can pull away, catch those leaders. Deacon probably got a little bit of a little tenseness going on right now with Josh just about 6 seconds behind him right now. So we'll see how long it takes for Josh to close that gap if he's able to.
Yeah, look at lap times. He's anywhere from a half second to a full second quicker. So with an estimated 35-ish minutes left, give or take a couple minutes, you got to think about when they get the white flag and all of that. He should be able to at least get up to him minus any mistakes from either driver.
And all this is with the top 2 still breaking away up to 2 seconds a lap from the majority of the field. They have just absolutely cruised their way ahead here. It's going to be difficult to beat them regardless right now, even if we have, say, cautions that come into play like we've seen in the past in these types of races. These two are just knockout quick. And what else can you say other than it's been impressive that they've been able to do this and work together to do so.
Yeah, I don't know if they're able to be so fast because they're actually bump drafting a little bit on the longer straightaways, and if that's the reason they've been able to pull away to 11-second plus lead now, or they're just a very equal skill set and they're not trying to race each other. They know that they're going to pull away from one another. Just keep it calm, but stay close enough where you can make a pass. Nicholson makes a mistake. Burkhart, here's what I'm saying: says I'm gonna make a pass anyway, side by side for the race lead.
Why not try and make a swap around? Nicholson's been burning more fuel as the leader. Now, Burkhardt flicks his way side by side, getting a little bit argy-bargy, working his way down the Rahal straight. Nicholson gets shuffled back to second.
There's been a contact there. New race leader, lap number 8 through the corkscrew. Give it to Morgan Burghardt in his first start here in the Wings and Wheels series. So Nicholson gets in line right behind him. What a wheel effort there, wheel man by a heck of an effort there by Nicholson. With these cars, they have such small tires, they don't have a whole lot of grip to begin with, but they go out in the grass like Nicholson did there in turn 6. They're very easy to spin out, so Nicholson able to keep it going straight. He still got a fighting chance.
And right now, these two continuing to start to squabble. They have a buffer. Don't see why not. Here comes Nicholson now for the outside for the Andretti hairpin. And it's going to be tricky to make moves from that outside today. That inside groove, the shorter distance around, obviously, but also the faster way around to make your way through the corner.
And you got to do what you got to do. Nicholson trying to get a better apex. He does so. Should be able to get the drive off here. Maybe look inside. Not able to get to the inside. Gets right back in line behind Morgan. He's going to have an opportunity in the next couple laps. Morgan going to go off into the sand, the grass, the sand. We're in California, so I think it depends on what month it is. So Burghardt, though, is still your leader.
Still 31 minutes up on the clock. Keep in mind that when they fight, Soto does gain. Sally Mott's gained some ground to be able to work back with Watson again.
Yeah, lots of battles all throughout the field. Keith Carpenter mentioned his spin a little bit ago. Seems he had a bit of an issue, a hardware issue for him, so he has gotten a lap down, but he's back on track. So all 10 starters still on track, but that's going to be able to allow Aaron Jeansonne to go around him from 10th to 9th, so an extra couple points there for Aaron Jeansonne, much needed points.
Yeah, it's still going to be a long way for the 24 to have a shot here, to say the very least, but now that Burkhardt's made the swap around, he is starting to pull away. Draft's still the equalizing factor, but it looks like Burkhardt's starting to build up a buffer.
Now, tires aren't really a huge deal here. There's a decent amount of fall off, but it's just a matter of being able to be competitive and be repetitive. You got to be able to consistently hit their marks, and this 2.2 mile layout is crucial in hitting the apex and getting a good drive off in these cars.
Right now, 14 seconds nearly the distance between first and third on the racetrack. And Nathan Nicholson, whenever we've seen him, has been impressive in his start so far. Braden, not a shock to see him have this speed out of the box.
Yeah, definitely not surprised at all. We saw his qualifying effort was right down the front row within a couple hundredths of Nicholson, and Nicholson riding on board with him now as he follows the trails and the fumes of Morgan Burghardt's number 2. It's about all he can do as Burghardt continues to pull away.
Second right now, that interval between first and second. Already past the third mark here in this race. And you can tell how much work you have to put through the wheel just for that last viewpoint. Because you make any mistakes, you're going for a wild slide. We've already seen people make those slides with contact. But it's very easy to make those mistakes on your own today.
Now, the corkscrew especially is a place, there's many places on this racetrack where a mistake can ruin the race, but the corkscrew is a place where it's very easy to make a mistake because you have to push it to the absolute edge. You have to find your limit, and you have to keep finding that limit as your tires start to fall off a little bit, as your car gets a lighter fuel load, and then if you're side-by-side, you're pushing with traffic around you or behind you, the corkscrew is a place where your race is made or the race is lost because you have to go through there, 20, 30 times a race and maximize your corner every single time to make sure you're not losing any time compared to everyone else. And I mean, look at these top two, Morgan Berghardt, Nathan Nicholson, almost a 15-second advantage over third place of Deacon Greenfield, who has been caught up by Joshua Soto as Greenfield goes through the grass. But you got to be perfect almost everywhere on this track if you want a fighting chance, and so far these two have been.
Let's take a look at some of the spread on the racetrack, your track map. Keep in mind that is a lapper. That is currently that closest bubble to your top two. But Greenfield, as we expected possibly, has been reeled in. Soto is on the bumper.
Soto right there in line going through turn number 6. We've seen these two have some exciting racing side by side this race so far, and still 27 minutes left to go. Still plenty of racing, but Soto's going to take it side by side through the corkscrew. This didn't work last time with Sally Mott, but he might clear Greenfield here. No, he's not.
Side by side, Greenfield sent it a bit aggressive. Soto able to get the better squeeze out. Soto able to make the pass and make the move. 27 minutes to go. So we're quickly approaching midway through this race. Soto now up to the podium again.
Both drivers in the grass. Greenfield getting loosey-goosey. He's going to lose a lot more time than Soto. Trying to get the run, trying to get the draft. And he's going to fall back even more here down the front straightaway. So Joshua Soto back onto the podium. About 25, 26 minutes left in this one.
Still plenty of time as the lead, by the way, has now broken the toe. Burkhardt has been able to break the draft just about from Nicholson. 1 second the gap, and Nicholson's taken all the off tracks he can to keep up.
Well, no, they don't have an incident point or limit here where they don't have any penalties, they don't have any drive-throughs. So if you paid for the whole track, you might as well use the whole track. And Greenfield definitely a driver we've seen multiple times tonight use the entire track, a couple others throughout the field as well. But this track, definitely, especially these cars, there are a couple tracks, there's a couple cars where you can definitely maximize your time by going off track in certain corners, but this track I don't think is really one of them. I forgot one driver off the course here. Number 7, Jordan Missig, I believe, around.
Yeah, a weird situation there.
That's through the Andretti hairpin, just it gets heavy on the brakes, and his cars are very easy to lose, and lose it he does. Sick drift, though.
No one else around to be able to be collected in it. Still puts him in the last running. Sally Mott, by the way, is now in the pit lane. And that's going to make things a little bit intriguing. Why is she? Let's see. Just pulled it in.
Well, you have that on the big jobs, I guess.
We're at the 25-minute mark in this one. Soto has now built near a full second buffer on Greenfield. And depending on what happens in the second half of the race, especially if we get things bunched up here, could get interesting to see what Soto can do after all the mistakes he made in the first half to make up for them in the second half. Same for Jeansonne. And same for a couple others here that are hoping to see what will happen here if things get bunched up.
A couple other drivers going through the hairpin. Got Joseph Burns, saw him for a second, trying to rebound nicely. A couple other drivers as well. Yellow flag gets out for the competition caution. So we mentioned didn't have one plan, but sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. It's going to happen right here as these drivers have about 6 minutes left of fuel. It's also going to put Aaron Jeansonne and Keith Carpenter back on the lead lap, and Sally Mott, who's about to lose a lap, will have an opportunity to stay on the lead lap.
This is exactly what Soto needed, exactly what Jeansonne and Carpenter needed to be able to get some wave rounds here. But right now, we'll see how long this will group together. Remember, the pace laps can be pretty lengthy. But this is a true test now for Soto especially. He seemed to be at equal footing when Burkhardt and Nicholson were battling, but lost ground afterwards. Can he match up on raw pace in the second half of the race? We'll have to see.
I think it was a little bit of fall if he had a lot more wear on his tires, trying to push through the field, trying to make up for lost time. So he was a little bit slower. He didn't have as great as a qualifying effort as those drivers either, but now he's gonna have a chance to go out here and try and get a win, and it's gonna bunch up the whole field here too. So a lot of exciting opportunities coming up for these drivers.
There's so much skill in this field that you can't really count anyone out right now, especially with this competition caution coming out. Everyone's going to come in. They're going to get fuel. They're going to get tires. Tires are starting to get worn down. Drivers are having a hard time being able to keep those cars going straight with the way this tire wear was happening. So we're going to have a full tank, fresh tires, and a field all bunched back up together with, under 20 minutes to go once we get going. With the talent like I was talking about, this is going to be a mad dash to the end, and can't count anybody out just yet.
Now looking at laps completed about 15, for coming to 15 laps completed next time by in about 22 minutes. So when we go green, it will be about 10-ish lap shootout, give or take a couple laps. So definitely not quite as long as an opportunity for these guys, but when Nicholson have something to maybe go and chase Morgan Burkhardt, would this Burkhardt not have the short run speed necessarily? I mean, we saw him stay, bumper to bumper, and Nicholson that entire run, the finally got around and pulled away to almost a second gap. So it's gonna be fun to watch these drivers try and maneuver and change up what they did last time, as pit road gonna be open this time, and everyone expects to come down for fuel and tires at least. Very tight pit road entry as well. So pit road speed of 35 miles an hour. These cars do have a pit limiter on them, so very hard to speed.
So they make the slow roll in. Right now, Jeansonne taking that wave amongst those taking the service. Not expecting anything surprising to come up here. We do see tires for Nicholson.
That's going to be a fun one to watch, as we've seen and talked about it all season long. Cold tires, they do give you some benefit as having fresh rubber, and that's just because they're fresh. But when they're cold, they're very difficult to handle on these road courses, especially through some of these flat corners where you don't have the banking to carry you through it. So you got to play it a little bit more cautiously where you would have on 2 or 3 lap old tires.
I was talking to Dickie Greenfield before race today during practice, and he was talking about the setup that we have, having a lot of understeer with it. So is that going to play into part with this, with these cold tires before we go back to green as well?
So the race off the lane, Soto coming out first, Greenfield second. Nicholson and Burkhardt losing a lot of time here. I think they ended up maybe full fueling it, or they're going to be having to do the last to first challenge. They've lost a lot of time in this sequence.
Yeah, you're going to be able to hopefully get back on the lead lap as guys in the back are. And Sari Ma as well has not left pit road yet, so she is 2 laps down. Saw her take fuel and tires, not sure if she's having a bit of a hardware issue there as well, but heartbreak for her after she had such a great early showing. Might be done for the night.
So they try and catch up to the pace car, looking like we'll have about 16, 17 minutes of racing when we get back going here. It's going to take a few minutes to be able to catch up here. Jeansonne has taken his pit stop service, but we'll have to hurry because the pace car's coming.
Yeah, a couple drivers all trying to catch up to the field here. We mentioned long pace laps. Over 2 minutes, so definitely either way at the clock a little bit. 20 minutes left in the race, but it takes a while to get around this 2.2-mile racetrack.
And Jeansonne has lost his lap that he just got waved around for. Not sure how they're going to sequence this one. He is now a lap down again because he elected to come in during the wave around period instead of trying to catch up to the pace car and then come in.
They're not sure what they're going to do about that one. Burkhardt almost about hit the pit wall coming down pit lane. So I'm not sure why he's coming down pit lane a second time, but he's going to be restarting behind the rest of the field, it seems. So might be getting some fuel, or going to see what happens there. See that? Oh, the tight pit road entry. Yeah, Burkhart's getting some tires. I don't know if he didn't get tires the first time in or what.
I mean, he's towards the tail of the lead lap, so why not? So,
Guys,
right.
JP, I was just talking to Sally. Sounds like she had an internet and wheel issue. Her wheel updated, and some of her settings are messed up. So she's going to be out of the race for technical difficulties. But we'll see her back here on the 19th at Charlotte on the oval.
Fortunate here for Sally, and those things can happen during build week here on iRacing. And it happened to one of our competitors here. Looking like we'll have about 17 minutes of the clock when we get back going. Here we are, doubled up. Jeansonne currently stuck a lap down with Carpenter here as they catch up to the field.
That's going to be Joshua Soto and Deacon Greenfield on the front row. These two go at it all race long, but Nicholson and Burkhart back there in the back of the pack. Burkhart's not even caught up yet. So this race might be over before we go back going green here. He's still behind the corkscrew.
Missig yet to catch up to the pace car either. And they are miscombobulated from that right side of the racetrack. Soto, Greenfield, front row. Green, green, green. Back to racing with less than 17 minutes to go. And they try and zip around quick. Burkhardt 41 seconds back, give or take, based on the interval. Soto takes the inside, holds on.
Now Burkhart's going to be way behind this field. By the time he crosses the green flag, he's going to be 3 or 4 corners behind. So his odds to win this race just went out the window big time. Soto, he had a chance, and he's going to make the most of it, leading the field through turn 3 and 4 here.
Missig in the same boat, and obviously not the starts they wanted here, but Nicholson trying to swarm things for second. Greenfield going to have to play a lot of defense this run if he wants points.
It definitely needs a good run here. Needs Soto to make a mistake, I think, to get it, though. So getting ready to go through the corkscrew. First time on the cold tire is going to be one to watch.
Right now, the run through the corkscrew. The pressure on Nicholson, remember, took tires. Soto looks comfortable. Nicholson looks pouncy. More troubles at the back for Missig. That's allowed Burkhardt to pick up a spot, but they still fight it out for second. No spot for Nicholson to go until the front straightaway.
Yeah, here comes Nathan Nicholson inside of Deacon Greenfield. Makes a move in the final corner to get around Greenfield, steal that second spot. Now he's got to go chase down Joshua Soto.
Good move as they made the front straightaway, that time by Nicholson. Now we'll set the sights on the race lead with 15 minutes to go. Nicholson, one of the 2 dominant drivers in this race prior to that caution period, now had to focus much more to get back to Soto, the championship points leader.
Soto's looking at great points. They looking to rob the bank with this one and run away and get away with it. And Nicholson trying to prevent that from happening. Last time by, Soto was 6/10 quicker. Nicholson was also in traffic, though, for the most of that lap. So he's got a clear runway now to Joshua Soto's back bumper.
Doing well this run so far. Both Watson and Burns staying close together, 4th and 5th.
I see Greenfield still in that 3rd spot. Still going to be a great point today, but he won't close in much to Joshua Soto. At this current rate through the corkscrew, Soto still leads, and so far him and Nicholson both been picture perfect through here. Side by side, though, isn't going to work out.
Jeansonne trying to unlap himself the hard way. He's got rapid pace to do so. The thing is, it's going to require a miracle of a caution or something to have any chance to get back on the lead lap. But right now. Soto doing a good job and showing what he could do now and can do with track position.
Looking at the difference between their first, second, and third drivers here across the line, Nicholson is pretty even. I mean, about 3 thousandths of a second between Joshua Soto and Nathan Nicholson. Deacon Greenfield back there as well, actually going to get past. We saw it last time by that lap car of Jeansonne, so slows up a little bit across the line.
Nicholson able to take advantage of Soto going off track a little bit. We just seen there. So he seems to be good at this part of the racetrack. This is where he seemed to keep things in control. Now he seems to be trying to see if he can keep control because Soto is better in the second half of the racetrack right now.
That was under 15 minutes to go. A new challenger has emerged. His name is Joshua Soto. Hasn't led laps all night. Plays a little bit of pit strategy, I guess, under that caution. Gets the lead, and so far he has done everything he can to pull away. He's done a great job at it. Right side step a little bit into the grass that time. Going through the corkscrew. Picture perfect once again. So now going to be under about 13 minutes to go. Estimated-ish 10 or so laps. It's all depends when they take that white flag. But let me tell you, Joshua Soto is playing a dangerous game with these off tracks. There's no penalties for him, but one wrong dip with your tires and they're going around for a spin.
Joshua Soto is showing why he's won every race this season except last race there at VIR when they had a ringer come in. And with Cam Ebbett, and Cam took the one win away from Joshua here. Josh showing he belongs to the front field. Week in, week out, he's always up here in front. And he's going to be is how aggressive as a kid, old Nate Nicholson going to be coming up to him. And, you know, we're coming up to 10 minutes to go. Curious to see how much Nate's going to push it to be able to catch Josh coming here in these final closing laps.
That's the question mark right now with how Soto's in control for the second half of the lap, but Nicholson's in control for the first half. Still a couple minutes to work with here. They have broken away by 4 seconds on the racetrack.
And these guys are going to have a little bit of a break here to reflect on this race. Next time out, 2 weeks from now, they're going to go to the Charlotte Oval. So a second to last oval visit of the season. That's going to be a great points opportunity for a lot of these guys. But Nicholson closes in a little bit on Joshua Soto that last time by. He's running out of time to do it, but he might just do it.
Gonna take time. That's the thing. He's got time in hand to be able to try and reel things in. Just needs the time itself to reel them on in and close up fully. Well, there is one more factor to this, that 24 car. See, meanwhile, how things have closed up for Jeansonne. He is quicker than the leaders right now, both of them, in fact. But right now could become a cork in the bottle amongst your race leaders.
And you definitely don't want to try and go up here and interrupt this battle, but you want to get your lap back, which you want to, I mean, you're going to be, a minute and a half behind the leaders when you get back on the lead lap. And you're like, hey, there's nothing to really gain from there because you're a minute behind everyone else. But if anyone wrecks from this point forward and they're on the lead lap, especially on the last lap, though, that's an extra spot or two they're able to steal. So I think it's very crucial Jeansonne's thinking that he needs to get back on the lead lap in the next couple minutes.
Absolutely. With Jeansonne's home track being here at WeatherTech, Laguna Seca, I mean, he's been looking forward to this race the entire season, and unfortunately it's been cursed from the get-go, but to even get back on the lead lap and, we get a late race caution, and right like you were saying, we get more car spinning, there's just points to pick off there, but it's definitely a very, very uphill battle from there, especially have to get around Nathan Nicholson and Joshua Soto.
Nicholson within about a lap's time of striking with how things sorted out. 9 minutes to go on the clock, and he is well within drafting distance. When does he set it up is the question. He's within a car length and a half now of Soto.
Yeah, I think patience is definitely a virtue here. We saw how long Morgan Berghard waited before making a move on Nathan Nicholson to get the lead from him, and I think if any opportunity presents itself, Nathan Nicholson would try and make the most of it. But within 2 or 3 car lengths now of Joshua Soto in the lead and the win, but with under 10 minutes now, I mean, anything can happen.
Nicholson looks quicker again. Soto going wide out of the Andretti hairpin. He's done that several times. Nicholson's gained every time. And now he is bunched up behind, looking for a place to poke. We've already seen one brave move coming in the middle sector. Will Nicholson make the move now? Not yet.
And Nicholson, a little bit late on the break, trying to maximize that potential. Still right in line behind. We'll have a little bit of a draft here. It's going to be a fun corkscrew for these guys. He's able to make the most of it and don't screw it up.
Down the Rahal straight now. Seems like Nicholson's been able to equalize things because of this reeled-in draft. Now waiting as he tries to pressurize the mistake. Looks like he's quicker. Where can he go? He goes here to the left side of the racetrack to the rainy curve. Soto makes contact, flicks him off. Nicholson regroups, has to reset. He crosses up Soto. Soto defends to the inside for turn 11.
Beautiful crossover move there by Nathan Nicholson. He's going to get the lead out of the final corner with 7 minutes to go. Brand new leader after the restart. It's Nathan Nicholson back out front in command, and Joshua Soto has nothing he can do as here comes Aaron Jeansonne trying to get his lap back right in the middle of all this.
So here comes the question now, guys, is does Jeansonne work with Nicholson to help Nicholson get a little bit of a lead going, or does he just try to get back on the lead lap? Nate's proven he's being aggressive here, but Soto, the points leader, you know, there's points at stakes here. Josh cuts Aaron off there, and
Deacon Greenfoot's right there in third, so any mistake by Soto going off the track, a self-spin, a non-self-spin, but still spinning, if you're picking up what I'm saying. So any mistake here that could jeopardize Soto's race is going to jeopardize his points run as well, because Greenfoot will definitely make the most of it.
Under 6.5 minutes to work with on the clock now. And Nicholson starting to check out. We've seen this before from whoever got the race lead for the group before. It was Burkhardt who was able to check out before. Soto trying to hope there's a slip up from Nicholson. This is his better sector. A little bit more deeper in the brakes and better handling Nicholson down the corkscrew, but a better run for Soto.
Definitely a great run indeed. Go ahead, Ray.
Sorry, Brayton, at this point, if you're sitting in Joshua Soto's shoes at this point, do you take the points paying day and go, hey, you know, any mess up I do, I got Greenfield coming up? Are you worried about those points, or are you just looking for that gold medal here at the end of this race?
I know I'm not settling for silver. I'm not settling for second. Neither is Joshua Soto. The race for the lead is back on, and I think he's going to go for the win. He doesn't care about the points. He's got a big enough bubble. He can afford a couple mistakes here and there. He's going to look on the outside of the Andretti straight to try, or the Andretti hairpin to try and not make one.
Nicholson again with a bit of a squeeze. Squeezes Soto nearly off the racetrack. And now Jeansonne trying to leapfrog Soto. This is not going to be helpful for the 07.
This isn't going to hurt either one of them. Soto falls behind Jeansonne, and the best thing he can do now is to go let Jeansonne chase down Nicholson, and hopefully he holds him up as well. Soto's falling back 5, 6, 10 car lengths now, thanks to Jeansonne sitting in there deep.
9/10 now the interval, and that is exactly what Nicholson wanted to see, at least for a buffer with under 5 minutes to go. It's going to take at least a lap to close now, but here's the question. What's Aaron's prerogative going to be? Soto's prerogative seems to be, move out of the way, I want to go.
Yeah, Soto definitely eager to get around Jeansonne and go chase down Nicholson. It feels like he's holding him up a little bit. And with just under 4 minutes to go almost, I mean, I definitely feel and understand the sense of urgentness. That's a big word.
Big words are hard, aren't they, Brayton? I understand
100%.
that completely. But here we go, as we got, you know, hard-fought battle here up front. You know, the lap car of Jeansonne running a pick essentially at this point for Nicholson, holding up Soto. Does Soto use Jeansonne and use that draft to try to get a little slingshot up there to try to compete with Nicholson? Or is he just going to – how aggressive are we going to be here coming down to about 3.5 minutes to go in this race?
Yeah, definitely all three drivers all within a couple car lengths of one another, as close as they've all three been. But Jeansonne playing a bit of a buffer here between Soto and Nicholson. I don't think Soto is very happy with it, because I think he has the speed to get right on the same line, right on the bumper of Nicholson, and maybe pressure him to making a mistake, but he doesn't have the opportunity to do so.
Going to require a mistake from Nicholson at this point now. Jeansonne, just the bridge car, just closing in on the leader. Soto trying to sniff the draft of the 24. And Aaron Jeansonne now is within a couple car lanes of the leader. So it becomes the huge question again, when do we see things get to a boiling point? We already have seen Jeansonne doesn't care about it being the leaders. It's within 2 car lanes now, and this is seeing Soto stay within 7/10.
Well, I think that's right. Mistake there by Nicholson. Right side's in the grass, able to keep it going. Doesn't allow a pass by Jeansonne or Soto, but 2 minutes and 22 seconds right here, right now. So about 2, maybe 3 laps left. So just under 5 miles of racing estimated. And I think Soto expected Jeansonne to go up here and get around Nicholson and hold him up a little bit, but that's not been the case. Jeansonne is playing defense here for Nathan Nicholson, it seems, and he's not quite able to get much ground and go and get his lap back like he wanted to either.
And that's going to be absolutely frustrating, possibly for second. 10th of a second again gained to the Andretti hairpin. He seems to be very stellar there. But it's going to be near impossible to try and pass 2 cars in this stretch, let alone only one of them for position.
I said that, 2 very, very fast cars at that. So back to pack real quick. Deacon Greenfield still hang on to third, but James Watson within a couple car lengths of his back bumper, and Joseph Burns as well, trailing behind those 2 drivers. Morgan Berghardt, we saw his mishap there during the yellow. He's still in 6th. About to catch these guys if he can in the next couple minutes. And Jordan Missick, the last car to lead up there in 7th.
Looking back at the leaders, expected white flag this upcoming time by. Run up to the corkscrew. Oh, and Jeansonne's trying to pass the leader, makes contact and spins himself out. Jeansonne bounces off the door of Nicholson, and now it's on for Soto. He needs to gain half a second in 53 seconds.
If anyone can do it, it's your championship leader. Joshua Soto has a great opportunity here. Nothing now between him and Nathan Nicholson in a race win.
Is there going to be a chance, Ray? That's the question. 7/10 coming up to the line.
As we've been talking about this entire race, guys, I do not count Joshua Soto out on anything. He could be in last place. At the beginning of a race, you don't count Joshua Soto out. Nate Nicholson's going to be super aggressive here, but Soto's going to run him down, and it's going to be close here at the finish. I'm calling it now here, boys, but I think Soto might be able to pull it off.
White flag already waving. This is the final time around. Soto will need to go full push this entire lap. He needs to be much quicker for the second sector especially. Nicholson, he's been gaining in that part of the racetrack all day. He's back to 7/10, heading to sector 3.
This corkscrew is going to be the most important corkscrew of the race. Soto misses apex by inch. It's going to hurt his run off here a little bit. Get ready to go down Ray Hall straight here. He needs to have a Ray Hall picture-perfect moment.
He's losing ground. He's not getting what he needs from Nicholson. Nicholson keeping him exactly where he wants to be. Final time through the corkscrew as they make their way up to Rainy Curve. Soto gained a lot. He pushed hard. He's back within 3/10. He's now within 2/10. Can he make a lunge for the final time around? It will take a dive to be able to try and do things here for Soto. 2 car lanes back. He lunges. Door slam shot by Nicholson. Checker flag coming up at the stripe. It will be Nathan Nicholson who holds on and plays the defense enough to win over Soto.
Gap at the line, 0.287, so just over a quarter of a second for Nathan Nicholson. Jeansonne got out of the way one lap too late, maybe even one corner too late. Joshua Soto had a chance here, not able to get as many chances as he would have liked, I feel like.
Drag race at the line. Burkhardt beating Barnes at the stripe to take away fifth. Missig, after showing good promise early on, will be the last to the lead lap.
Yeah, James Watson and Greenfield also had a bit of a drag race, so some very, very tight finishes, some very, very crucial points for a couple of these guys, but big points today for a lot of them.
An interesting race all around here from our drivers today. Carpenter, Mott, on your DNF list in this one here from Laguna Seca. So Nathan Nicholson gets to celebrate. He holds off Soto in the end. Post-race coverage and interviews coming up in just a moment. You're watching Maconi Entertainment from California.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to tonight's coverage of Wings and Wheels from Laguna Seca. We have a lot of drivers to speak with for post-race coverage here on Maconi Entertainment. Nathan Nicholson holds off Josh Soto, Deacon Greenfield, James Watson, Morgan Burkhardt, your top 5. Also up there tonight, Joseph Burns, Jordan Missig in 7th. Lap down, Aaron Jeansonne. He pushed hard and actually spread apart the battle for the race lead for a bit. Your DNFs, Carpenter, Mott, and a DNS for Lester. That's what talks about him at the running order here tonight in this one. But we have plenty of people standing by. Let's start off with your race winner for the second straight time, Nathan Nicholson. Comes away with a win tonight, Nathan. How was that battle for the race win?
Yeah, no, it was awesome. Me and Morgan tussled it out, worked a little bit together in that first half before the caution, and started to pull away. But, comp caution came out, packed everyone back up. Took some tires and, had to drive through the field, so that was a ton of fun.
What was going through your mind when not only did you have Soto closing in to try and get a run back, but you also had Aaron Jeansonne, who was a lap down, played a bit of a factor there?
Yeah, Aaron, even though he was a lap down, he wanted to race, and I had no problem with that. We're out there to have fun and race, so I told him that if he could get a run on me, he could try to pass me, and he made an attempt for sure, but ended up Soto chasing me down almost at the last lap there, made a couple mistakes, but still came home with the victory.
Charlotte's next. Your thoughts on going there on September the 19th?
Yeah, Charlotte will be fun. I'm very excited for that. Ovals is something that this league has been experimenting with, and I'm super excited. To go there and hopefully have a big field. This is a better turnout than we've been getting, so thank you everyone for coming out. Can't thank Wings and Wheels and GGT and everyone that helps put this on, and Maconi. Looking forward to the next one.
Thank you very much for your time, Nathan. Congrats on the win.
Thanks.
Nathan Nicholson comes away with the win tonight. Does so in a close battle. Second spot tonight goes the way of Josh Soto. He's with Braden Lester.
Yeah, Joshua Soto came up second tonight. Still extended their points lead over Deacon Greenfield, but you gave everything you can the last lap, but what did you need to beat Nathan Nicholson?
Just better positioning. Definitely better positioning. And also the pace. He had some really great pace this race, so it's kind of hard after they spin to try to catch back up. But overall, I mean, it's just really, really great pace, and then probably a better defense would have got me the win.
Yeah, for sure. And then going out next time to Charlotte Oval. Last time on the Oval at Gateway, you finished 5th, 1 lap down. How you feeling about going to Charlotte?
Feeling good. It's one of the tracks that I'm pretty familiar with. So I think we should be able to do a good result at Charlotte in the next race at Road Atlanta.
Of course. And then anybody want to thank out to the second place run here tonight?
Oh yeah, I want to thank GGT for this one. GGT and the Wings and Wheels series for this racing league.
Of course, well, thank you for taking the time to run us, and thank you for taking the time to speak with us. And once again, I'm sure we'll be talking to you in the near future, Josh.
All right, thank you.
Once again, Joshua Soto coming away second spot tonight. Third spot went the way of Deacon Greenfield. He's with Ray Hill.
Deacon, another podium, but once again, that one spot behind Joshua Soto. How'd you feel about this race, and what's it going to take to be able to beat Josh coming into these final few races?
Yeah, I'm happy to pick up the podium tonight. I'm going to be real honest. That's the most uncomfortable I felt in the car all season, especially at Laguna. I really like Laguna, and I'm not completely sure what threw me off tonight, but I'm going to put in some more work to figure out what went wrong and do better for the next race.
Yeah, absolutely. I know when we were talking during practice, you were talking about how uncomfortable the car felt, but hey, a third place finish on an uncomfortable car, hey, you take that any day.
Absolutely, yeah. I played the strategy game pretty well, and there was some unfortunate glitches with the pace car, so we were able to pick up P2 off the restart. I did try to improve the condition by taking right side tires, so I thought that might give me a little bit of an edge, and I think it did for a second there in turn 1, but I wasn't able to put the power down. So respect to Josh Soto. He's been hard to catch all season, and I'm really looking forward to taking a crack at him next time.
Absolutely. Next time out, we're going to be out the Charlotte Oval. You feel like you got the chance there? Is that the track you're going to be able to finally pull off the victory over Joshua Soto?
I'm definitely going to put in a lot more time for the Roval. That's a track that I do have a little bit of time on, so I'm definitely going to put in a little extra effort to figure out what happened to my pace and then try and stick it to him.
Absolutely. But anyone you want to thank here on this podium finish?
I want to thank you guys for putting on a great league. This is definitely worth everything, the time, and to participate in. Maconi Entertainment for a great stream. I want to thank OG Racing, Courage Motorsports, and Vision Motorsports for supporting me.
We appreciate it, Deacon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Deacon Greenfield coming away third spot tonight in this one. We also had an interesting time with Aaron Jeansonne. Aaron, it was talked a little bit about with the pace car a little bit. What was kind of your thought process there as you end up getting the wave, but then you lose the lap, but then end up having the pace to be able to keep up with the leaders?
Yeah, I got into an unfortunate incident at the beginning in the corkscrew, and you know, I knew that we are going to have a caution at some point in the race and I'd be able to get my lap back, and got the lucky dog there during the caution. Knew that I had good pace with the top couple drivers, and you know, just tried to fight them there at the end. It was pretty fun.
Pretty fun indeed. And it was talked about by Nathan Nicholson. He said, go ahead in terms of battling him. What was kind of your viewpoint on said battling with the race leaders?
Well, there's a couple ways you could look at it, you know, and if we work together, if we felt like we had the pace to work together and pull a little bit on third place and just make it a race between us, do we want to do that? Or do we just want to have some fun and mix it up and you know, and basically solidify the third place car in the fight? And we're on the chat together, and he said, bring it on. So I said, okay, I'll bring it on for you. And try to get a run, try to make a pass on him, and just it didn't quite work out, but it was close to the end of the race anyway, and kind of had to go for that one.
Your thoughts on Charlotte next week?
Yeah, I love going to any of the NASCAR circuits with these cars. I think it's really cool for us. You know, the oval race has been really cool for us, and you know, I like continuing to see NASCAR ties with this car and our series. I think it's really cool. So.
Well, thank you very much for your time, Aaron. Congratulations on the run you did show on in terms of pace.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Aaron Jeansonne finished 8th overall with that. Now, making his debut tonight in the series, Jordan Missick. He's with Braden Laster.
Yeah, Jordan had a pretty solid run, bring it home there in 7th on the last car on the lead lap. Tell us a little bit about your race.
Yeah, I think the race was good today. You know, obviously raced with a bunch of different guys tonight, so it was a really good showing, I think, by myself to kind of race with these guys before. But yeah, I think the car was really good. Obviously, this track made the combination very, very tricky and tough. But I think, you know, for the most part, we were able to hang up with those guys for the very beginning of the race, but then we kind of fell bad towards the middle part. I think obviously with a little bit more practice under my belt and everything, I could probably hang with them a little bit more. But nonetheless, a lot of fun tonight hanging with these guys.
Yeah, and the next time out, not sure who will be joining us, but we're going to the Charlotte Oval. These cars are very fun to drive, very fast drive on the Oval. And if you're going to be there, how do you feel about that?
Ovals are technically my strong suit in a sense, so I'm actually pretty excited to try the Oval. So I'll have to see what my schedule's like. But if time permits and everything looks good and dandy, you know, I wouldn't be surprised to see me out here with these guys. It's a lot of fun.
Well, glad to hear that. Anybody want to thank him right to their 7th place finish here tonight?
Yeah, I mean, Big Check Race fans, a really good supporter of mine, as well as Race for Mental Health. A lot of good people behind me back and in the next paddock as well too. So you know, a lot of good folks, very happy folks as well. They kind of want you all to watch the stream tonight, and mom and dad watching tonight too. So always good to be racing in front of them.
Gotta love putting on a show for mom and dad, where we thank you for taking time to talk to us, and thank you for taking time to run as well. And hopefully we're talking to you down the road.
Absolutely. Thank you, Brendan, and thank you guys.
Jordan Missick, 7th spot on debut tonight in this one. Now we do have one more driver standing on by. Morgan Burkhardt made the start tonight. He's with Ray Mulvihill.
Morgan showing a very strong start of the race. Can you tell us what happened after the pit cycle?
Well, I went in for the pit stop, and it's been a really long time, to say the least, since I've done a pit stop race. So I came in on the first pit stop, and I treated it like a real race. And once I got into the pit lane, just went full beans, passed the pace car, and I got a black flag for that. Just I know better, just completely forgot about it. Got in the pit lane, served my 26-second penalty. And then I had the bright idea to take some tires, which I thought were taken during the first pit stop. Missed that, and then I came around and I was like, I think I got enough time. A little optimistic on that one. Did not have time to take tires on the second pit stop, and after that it was just trying to run down the field.
Absolutely, that's an absolute heartbreaker there. You're showing the pace there, running with the front of the pack the entire race prior to that. We know this is your debut. You've been a very big contributor, helping make the setups for the season. We appreciate that. Anybody you want to thank here in your debut, and are we going to be able to see you anymore the rest of the season?
I hope I can come back out. These races are always a lot of fun. There's a lot of good guys to race with. You got Aaron and Nathan, who are both Mazda MX-5 Cup drivers in the real world, as well as Sally Mott. So there's some really good competition here. I do hope I can come out but schedules are super busy. But definitely, I'd like to thank Wings and Wheels and GGT for putting everything on, and Nathan for having a good little race there in the first half. And apologies go out to Aaron for kind of just trashing him on lap 1 in the corkscrew. I got a little too eager going over the crest of the hill and got into his rear bumper to bump draft him at just the wrong time and turned him right around. But looking forward to the next one. These guys are always fun to race with.
Absolutely. We appreciate you coming out. We look forward to seeing you here soon.
Sounds good.
Let's get Morgan Burkhardt rounds out our post-race interviews. Like, thank everyone taking the time to speak with us during post-race coverage here on Maconi Entertainment. I'll start with you, Ray. Your thoughts on how tonight's race broke down?
Like I've said, every race, we've got talent in this field. We may not have the largest car counts, but we have the most talent, in my opinion, for what we have out there. And always put on a great show, a highly technical racetrack, and it proved that the track took out some of our top leaders, but we had a heck of a race, and just appreciate everyone who's tuned in and watched us, and hope to see you on the 19th at Charlotte.
Speaking of Charlotte, Braden, that's going to be an interesting time when we go to Charlotte, as that will really spark some things, to say the very least, I think.
That's going to be a fun one to watch. We've seen these cars in the draft at Daytona, on the road course in the Oval Exhibition race. The draft here is huge. In Charlotte, that's going to be definitely no surprise there at how much the draft is going to play in a part. That's a track I've also had the luxury of not only racing at, but spinning out at twice. So hopefully no one repeats after me for that one.
Once again, September the 19th, the date for that race. But again, it's time to say goodbye. Calling the action tonight, myself, Justin Prince, alongside Braden Laster and Ray Mulvihill. Robert Hill was our producer. Thanks to our viewers for watching tonight's action, and we hope you stay tuned to our social media pages for our next race. Thanks to the entire staff for bringing this racing to you. This has been a production of Maconi Entertainment. We'll see you next time.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.